Okay, folks, it's turn 37, and that's because I staled. As I think I've said in a couple of other videos that will come out at various different times, I've come down with a little bit of an illness lately, and as a result, I fell asleep for 13 hours and missed my turn. So that's nice. So I didn't do anything last turn, but I can see from here that we did take the Swamp of Solitude back, so we've got this province. And everything's pretty hunky-dory, all told. What I'm going to do is, I've made most of my moves here. I'm going to have Leric give his troops to Lutung Pin here. Just do that for now, because Leric is going to build a palisades. I've got the money for it. Got to start forting up the Swamp of Solitude real quick. Going to kick the province defense up to 6. Wang Lao and the rest of this army are moving north. I've also got Hosinku back, so I've got my healer. So my troops are collapsing on Pergami, where we will be executing an assault on the Plane of Memories. We just need to get rid of those garnets. That's all it is, basically. We should be able to gather several hundred units to do that, and if I need more, I can, of course, hire some mercenaries to do so. I don't think I'll really need more. I think my troops and my mages should be able to do it. I could launch the attack this turn or in 2 turns. What I am going to do is I'm also going to start forging water bracelets. So, research. You're casting Voice of Apsu. You can also forge a water bracelet. And the purpose of these, of course, is to give them to my Imperial Alchemists and have them manifest vitriol faster. I have 3 green lions in this army. Don't have any green lions over here. I also do have some living mercuries. So the green lions and living mercuries will form my flank assault squadrons. Some of them at least. And over here I've got 77 units that I don't really need in this location, so I'm going to give them to my eunuchs and move out in that direction. Down here I've got 80 units that I don't need in this location. And so, I'm sorry, 80 units. I think I said 80 eunuchs, and that's not accurate. I have 4 eunuchs. And we're also going to go back to recruiting mages, because we've recruited enough eunuchs, I feel like. And we should be good on eunuchs for now. I can send 1 eunuch all the way down here. Actually, I think there's a closer eunuch that I can send to do that. Yeah, I can send Muking over in that direction. Over here, I got a random event this turn, so let's look at our messages real quick. So, Voice of Apps, we didn't find any more items, any more sites. Jotunheim has asked, so we have a non-aggression pact 3 turns with Jotunheim, that's fine. Ermor has declared a new prophet. In Forbidden Forest, Olm's Allfather, still wandering around, has stolen a province from Nazca, and Shinuyama has taken Nazca's fort. That battle was fairly unexceptional, but it does kind of show off the power of Dai Bakemonos in large quantities. They really are very good troops, especially the archer variants. So they're just trading fire. The shamans buff themselves up, start dropping Strength of Giants, Legions of Steel. With Legions of Steel and Strength of Giants on them, Dai Bakemono are very powerful. 20 protection, 19 strength. High damage longbows, high damage nodachis with high attack values. You can see here, these Akakruna Spearmen, which are like just basic units, land and get mulched. They do practically nothing. And so the, Nazca just outright loses. They've got these Malki priests in the back that aren't really accomplishing a whole lot. And they've got a couple of Hurim priests, but they're all routed already. And so even very limited Skella spam does not manage to accomplish much. The Bakemono sorcerers are hardly involved. They throw a few spells, but nothing too terribly impressive. We don't even get to see their bless in that battle. So, also, Nazca has now officially lost their capital to Pangaea, so that's a little bit problematic. I'm going to move in. Nazca has declared that he's going AI, so I'm actually going to start moving in. Actually, speaking of that, Mohihai and Dia should head down this way, and I should take that palisade. And Yazi is patrolling, but he actually shouldn't be patrolling. Yazi should be taking that province. That is the province that Olm's Allfather has just taken back. And so, I'm going to reenact, I was thinking about this, I'll do this off screen. I'm going to reenact the, I'm losing my words, the mind duel thing that I was doing earlier here in case he tries to attack me. I'm just going to have all these guys patrol and mind duel with 1 pearl each. So if he moves up there, I should be able to vaporize him that way. And that would basically remove Olm's only military power. Olm is trying to get back in the game. He's trying real hard, but we're not going to let it happen. At least not to the extent of giving him any land or anything back. Wick is almost inevitably going to fall to Shinuyama here, but I'm going to take those 3 provinces at least. I should have been quicker off the ball. Like, I should have moved towards Wick last turn, but I just didn't really have the manpower to do it. What I am going to do this turn, however, is start pumping out, not archers, start pumping out footmen down here. Give me a few more bodies. Light infantry wouldn't be a terrible decision. I got a lot less protection. Yeah, not exactly worth it. Yeah, we'll stick with just footmen. Unfortunately, due to Ulm lacking resources, I can't do a whole lot with them. Once I take these 2 provinces, Ulm will open up a little bit more. But in any case, that's basically what I'm doing. Collapsing forces over in this direction, moving forces from these locations. I actually may want to take this throne now in Zenthra. Nah, it's still just neutral. We'll leave it for now. We have bigger fish to fry. Move down through that way so these guys can redirect south if they need to, if Shinuyama gets stroppy about us taking these provinces. And that will be the plan. So, thanks for watching. That is going to be turn 37. Like I said, I'll gem these guys up and set them to mind duel. And then we're going to have to go in here and take out these Garnet Amazons. Because only I am allowed to have Garnet Amazons. That's the rule. So in any case, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in turn 38, hopefully. Okay, folks, welcome to turn 38 of Mandala. If we look at our messages real quick, we cast Voice of Apsu a couple more times, didn't find any magic sites. We're really suffering on the water site front. We've manifested another vitriolic lion. We attacked Waywoods and actually had a spot of terrible luck. So we went in with just our little eunuch here and a bunch of Imperial horsemen, and it was just province defense, just Lion Tribe. Like I said, the Nazca player has gone AI, but he has these Lion Tribe archers. So watch. So the Lion Tribe archers fire a volley at the commander. They randomly targeted him as opposed to the horseman. And boop. There he goes. 9 damage and then he bleeds to death. So the horsemen make contact, massacre the first literally 2 squares of the Lion Tribe, and then flee, having suffered no damage whatsoever. So that's always a risk you run when you just send a small posse. So, I mean, I'm not too upset about it. It just delayed me for a turn. We are attacking Shade Forest to take it back with just a huge blob of dudes. And it's just got a bunch of, like, vine people in it, and the cavalry charge in and just murder their faces. Just roll right over them. It does have an Ivy King, but all he's doing is casting Swarm. And while Swarm is super dangerous against thugs, against large numbers of troops, it really doesn't accomplish much, because the bugs do die in 1 hit. So we wipe them out with no casualties. 76 kills on those Imperial Horsemen. Ooh, baby. In Oak Beach, we got plus 20 income, and then we got plus 5 income, which is pretty sweet. And in Ulm, we had that alchemist patrolling to find the Dryad, so he found it. So 4 of my units were cursed, and Jiao got Nature Magic plus 1. So Jiao is now Nature 2, which is pretty neat. Not as neat as if he had been an alchemist of the 5 elements, who already has Nature 2, but still pretty neat. Pretty neat nonetheless. So, also we murdered a false prophet in Behemoth's Rest, and we wiped out a whole bunch of unrest in Pergamy, but there is still some. So we are prepping for the assault on Ashdod, and I was going back and forth this turn as to whether I wanted to attack now. They're gathering a whole bunch of Long Dead in the fortress. I'm not terribly scared by Long Dead, to be honest. Long Dead Rephites and Long Deads are not very dangerous. Their main danger is that they are large and they take time to kill. But my strategy here is, well, okay, so look. They're relying heavily on these Long Dead. Long Dead are mindless. As a result, they can't be targeted by certain spells, including Soul Slay. Soul Slay does not affect mindless beings. Mages do not target mindless beings with Soul Slay. So, if he's running a front line of Long Dead, then I can use Soul Slay, and Soul Slay will target only his Anakites and his commanders, his sorceresses. So that's my goal here. He's going to, when I go in to fight him, he's obviously going to try and form a Sabbath in order to stop me. And my plan is to use the Soul Slay to basically attempt to disrupt his Sabbath before it can really activate and start laying down a lot of pain. The long dead, meanwhile, my troops can cut their way through the long dead. The long dead are pierce resistant, so my crossbows and such will not be terribly effective against them, but they also have low HP, so the crossbows' chip damage will be enough to wear through them eventually. They're also highly resistant to spears, but not to, well, and they're resistant to glaives half the time. They are not, however, at all resistant to living mercuries and green lions, so that will definitely be very, very helpful to me. And of course, once my mages go off script with the soul slays, they'll probably start dropping rocks on the skeletons anyway. So I've got this army moving north. It's also got a contingent of claymen, which will be very effective against the long dead. It's got some Imperial horsemen, a whole bunch of standard infantry, archers, and crossbows, plus mages. Over here I've got another pile of infantry, archers, and crossbows, plus mages, and some magical beings. He's going to be casting flaming arrows. Tianzhong, I've given him a crystal matrix, so he can come with us and do that. Flaming arrows will only increase my damage a little bit, like very little, because they are fire resistant. All the Rephite long dead and such are fire resistant. So, but I mean, it's an extra damage roll. It still does something, not a huge amount, but something. So it's worth having. Like, it's worth doing it, just to get the extra damage roll. And I'm recruiting glaive footmen because they are 50% of the time they're not piercing damage. So I'm shifting my recruitment over towards that, and that reminds me that over here I should probably do the same thing, actually. So let me clear all these guys out, and let's go to Ministry Footmen, and let's just spam out a ton of Ministry Footmen. I could have actually shift-clicked to do that quicker, but I kind of enjoy just lining them up across the board. And I could... Yeah, I can't do Imperial City Guard, unfortunately. Imperial City Guard are not much better than Ministry Guardsmen. They just have a little bit higher protection, but against Giants, honestly, that won't matter all that much. Like, I think Giants will punch through that 5 extra protection without really worrying about it. So, we're just going to go with the Ministry boys. Plus, they're faster. We've got another pack of Guardsmen moving over here with Sun Pi. He's also bringing 2 air mages, who can be used for air buffs. Speaking of buffs, we need to look at our research. I'm researching Conjuration level 6, and I'll hit that next turn. So that will give me Celestial Soldiers, and more importantly, it will give me Huli Jing. I have enough Nature Gems to summon 2 Huli Jing immediately next turn, which I will probably do. Lan Kaihe will shift over to recruiting Huli Jing, and I have Zhao Tu moving right now, but I'm actually going to have him research so that he can summon a Huli Jing next turn as well. After that, however, I need to kind of pick my next research target. I've been thinking about that. I'm not exactly sure which way to go. Thaumaturgy level 6 for Enslave Mind would be pretty fantastic. It's easy for me to get up to Astral level 4 in my communions, and I could spam a ton of Enslave Mind pretty easily. That would be cool. Going up to high level Alteration would also be very cool, because at Alteration level 7 I get Doom, Fog Warriors, Marble Warriors. At level 8, of course, I get Wizard's Tower, which I can potentially cast with a little bit of playing around. And I get Will of the Fates, which is luck for everyone on the battlefield. That's a fantastic spell. Plus, I also potentially get Time Stop. That's not terribly useful for me for a communion-based nation. And then, of course, at level 9, I get Army of Lead, Arcane Domination, which is a fantastic spell as well. So I'm thinking Alteration right now. Other options? I could go down Evocation and get Mind Hunt active. I would have to do some boosting in order to get Mind Hunt, like, really effective. I could potentially cast the Rain of Stones with a little bit of boosting. That's something that I can definitely do. But Evocation is not honestly catching my eye right now. I'm at Construction level 6 already. For Enchantment, the only things I would really want out of Enchantment would be, like, Unraveling. Potentially, but that's a very, very niche spell. It's not necessarily all that required. These higher level spells, it's going to take me quite a while to work up to being able to cast. I can potentially get up to Enliven Statues pretty easily with some Earth boosters. Everything else is going to be a little bit tricky. So I think I'm not going to worry too much about high level enchantment. So I'm just going to go up to Alteration, and I might just bum rush straight to Alteration 9. We'll hit 8. We'll hit 8 and see how I feel. Will of the Fates will definitely be a useful buff, and then we'll kind of take it from there. Speaking of which, my communion scripting has shifted a little bit because I do have more buffs available. So right now I've got my little communion here is casting Power of the Spheres, Summon Earth Power. We've got 4 communion slaves. Twist Fate, Iron Skin, Body Ethereal, and Temper Flesh, all on round 2. So by the end of round 2, all the mages in this, all the slaves rather, will be Ethereal, 20 Natural Protection, take half damage from most things, ignore the first thing that hits them, be reinvigorating, and have the Power of the Sphere, so they'll be buffed up to Earth 3, Astral 2 as well. That'll be pretty fantastic, and then we'll just spam Soul Slays. So, I was wondering whether I should go in this turn with the troops that I have in an effort to lock this down before the Anakites get here. And I'm not sure, because waiting one turn gets me a whole bunch more units. It gets me another 210 siege strength from this army. This is a pretty significant army right here. And it also gets me Mohihai's troops here. And in fact, I should actually give Lano these units here as well, so I can bring them. And it gets me this green lion. Who should take the green lion? Dia should take the green lion. Lano, unfortunately, is going to have to move the slow way, because he is bringing slow units. The Imperial Crossbowmen only have map move 8, so he can't hop straight to Pergami, but he can go over there, and then he can join that attack heading in that direction. So yeah, I think I'm going to wait one more turn. It will enable me to bring a lot more power to bear, and then I'll just hit him as hard as I can turn 39, and on turn 40 I'll be able to see the results of that. So yeah, that is the turn. In world news, obviously Shinoyama is taking Nazca's fort here. Not sure what's going to happen to Ulm. I imagine they're going to be devoured by someone pretty quickly. Pangaea is here on this throne. Oh, and I'm taking that throne. Zenthra. If we look at what I'm doing here, I've got a whole bunch of infantry and cavalry. I've got a whole bunch of archers, and I've got a whole bunch of mages, some of whom are not actually scripted. So I need to do that real quick. Let's get Communion Slave there. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's get 8 Communion Slaves, and then let's just spam Soul Slay with the others. The important thing here is just to kill off the leaders as quickly as possible. So spamming Soul Slay will be fine. So we've got, I need an Earth Power there. Where's the guy who has the, there was one guy who had a Pearl. I'll just give him 3 pearls there. No, you're a Communion Slave, never mind. What am I doing? I'm dumb sometimes. We need a Communion Master. Give him a couple pearls, and he will cast... Where'd he go? There he is. He will cast Power of the Spheres. He will drop Twist Fate. He will drop Iron Skin. He will drop Body Ethereal, and he will cast Temper Flesh. That's the whole buff cycle. So all my 8 slaves will be basically buffed to the gills. And then I'm just going to kind of scatter these guys a little bit randomly, so that they're hard to target. You can just kind of stand there in the middle. Yeah, you can just stand over there. Great, just scatter them around. We're not really going to get attacked much here. This is just like barbarians and stuff. And barbarians and phantoms. Phantasmal warriors, light infantry, cataphracts, and then a couple of sorceresses. So hopefully the Soul Slays will wipe out the sorceresses. Like, that would be the ideal. And then my troops will just kind of be able to clean up the rest. Who is moving? Who's moving down that way? Oh, you, that's right. I have this extra eunuch moving down here to build up the defenses. I'm diverting away from besieging this outpost right now, this palisade, because it's already under siege by independents and it's not going anywhere. So I'm just going to take the throne first, and then we will consolidate. I'm going to grab that with these troops, then snatch range of light, and then go take that after I'm solidly done. So that is the plan, and I will see you all in turn 39. Take care. Okay, folks, Mandala turn 39, and this turn, yeah. So, Armor has cast Burden of Time. They always do this if they live long enough, pretty much. And they are still technically alive. I believe Is has them down to their capital, but their capital still gives them 10 death gems per turn. So they've cast Burden of Time, and they're going to do it again. Also, Ashdod has cast Riches from Beneath, which is actually a pretty good spell. Unfortunate. Especially unfortunate because now we have to attack them. So, they did move their Anakites, at least some of their Anakites, into Plane of Memories. So, Long Dead Brephites, Long Deads, Garnet Sorceresses, and Sheshai Anakites, they do also have a Zamzumite. A Zimity Zamzumite. So, our giant army is going in. This is going to be a big one. And I'm kind of gambling on some tactics that I haven't really done before. So we've got, first of all, we've got Wooden Warriors active. We've got Lutung Pin just throwing acid bolts because he's a trash lord. Down here, we've got our super sneaky assassination squad of Living Mercuries and Green Lions. They are holding while they get Wooden Warriors splashed all over them to give them a little bit of prot, because protection helps. Other things that I could do, I could also try to give them Body Ethereal, which would be kind of cool. But my mages are communing up, and they're Soul Slaying. I talked about this last turn. They're spamming Soul Slay in order to try and kill the mages and the Anakites, preferably, and leave the undead to the troops. I've got my infantry up front. I've got a ton of archers. I am dropping Howl. I'm dropping Wind Guide from Dia over here. I've got another Sun Wukun is also spamming Wooden Warriors onto the lower group, the lower echelon. So yeah, Soul Slay, I've got Flaming Arrows coming out of Tianzong over here. And then, that's pretty much it. That, Soul Slay, and the power of my troops. We'll see how it goes. Research-wise, I'm going to hit Alteration level 7 in 2 turns, which will be fantastic. I could... If I wanted to, I could rejigger the Communion to throw a lot of Maws of the Earth. That would actually be pretty powerful as well. I'm just not sure it would be powerful enough. Well, I mean, the Soul Slays are single target is the thing. I'm undecided. I've been thinking about this for a little while, and I'm still undecided. I may go back over to, because it's like, I can do Maws of Earth, I can do Gifts from Heaven, I can do Soul Slay. The Soul Slay is more, as I said, more targeted, and so I'm hoping, if I'm lucky, like, the Soul Slay is kind of a gamble, right? Because I've got a bunch of guys throwing Soul Slays. If they target the mages, then that would be really useful. If they target the Anakites, that would also be pretty useful, albeit not huge, incredibly useful. Gifts from Heaven and Maws of the Earth are going to wipe out the skeletons, and they're going to do that pretty effectively. Maws probably better than Gifts, but I just don't know. They're less sustainable. I mean, what's going to happen is we're going to get our Soul Slays off, and then we're going to go off script anyway, and start dropping Gifts from Heaven randomly across the map. So, nah, we'll let it ride. Beyond that, I am spending 100 pearls casting Dispel. I have 30 pearls coming from Bandar Log. So, if this Dispel doesn't get it, I'm actually going to spend all 108. Come to think of it, because I really, really want Burden of Time gone. My mages are little old men, and diseases do not agree with them. Now, in most places, of course, I have alchemists who can heal diseases, so it doesn't hurt me so much as it could, but it still builds up other afflictions very, very quickly. And I would much rather not have it happening, especially because in large armies, of course, it is also diseasing my units. If we hold down tab, is anybody diseased here? Nope, nobody's diseased there. Okay, well, it's not diseasing my units yet, because it's just making them older, but they will get old and start to die. And that will be a huge problem once that starts off. So, that's where we're going. Just research for now. Yeah. We're still casting Voice of Hapsu because we still have no freaking water income, which is fairly frustrating, to be totally honest. I would like to have water income, but apparently I don't get water income. So, you know, problems. Problems! Jotunheim is going to be fighting Ashdod as well. I, of course, am fighting Ashdod. Shinuyama is going in against Ashdod this turn, so we should be able to collapse him pretty quickly. I think I'll win this battle. I have enormous numbers. He is partially immune to my archers, but I think my archers can get him. So, things that could potentially lose me this battle. he drops Rigor Mortis and Darkness, and that could negate my infantry pretty quickly. One second, I'm looking for... Yeah, I can't cast Relief yet. If I could cast Relief, that would be a huge help right now. But that's an enchantment, which is not the way I'm going right at the moment. So we're going to have to do without it right now. If he casts Rigor Mortis, that could change the calculation a little bit. But at that point, the fight depends on whether I can kill his undead fairly quickly. And I can kill these undead fairly quickly. Albeit my infantry will do little damage, but there's a ton of them. And I'm actually going to take out a chunk of this guy's spearman and give him those glaives to make sure that we have maximum glaive. Maximum glaive is still not much glaive. Like, I need more glaive. I would love for Sun Pi's glaives to be here, but they're not. So, you know, what can you do? Sometimes things are just slow. Slower than you would like. I do have some more glaives over in this battle, I believe. Do you have any glaives? Don't you have some glaives? I thought you had some glaives. You don't have any glaives. Damn. That's a bummer. Okay, well, we'll do what we can do. We'll only be doing, like, tiny amounts of chip damage per hit to these skeletons, but we have a lot of infantry. And we have a lot of archers with the flaming arrows that will do chip damage past their fire resistance, so it'll do. We'll wear them down. That is the main event this turn. We took this province from Waywoods. We also took the throne. So let's view that battle, because that battle's kind of cool. Big blobs of troops. Communion setting up. On the other side, we have a lot of cataphracts and a whole bunch of phantasmal warriors. Phantasmal warriors are going down pretty quickly. And we get our buffs in. And we start throwing soul slays. I think, yeah, we're just spamming soul slay right now. For some reason, we're spamming soul slay on light infantry, as well as stellar cascades, which is a fatigue causing spell. Stellar Cascades spammed a lot can be very, very powerful. So I guess that's why we're doing that. The cataphracts are basically routed. Our infantry and our Imperial horsemen have fought them off. And the soul slays are now attacking the mages, which is what I want to see. Our guys are throwing legions of steel on the archers, which they love to do. Mages love putting AoE buffs that are totally irrelevant on archers. I don't know why. It is what it is. Also love dropping Gifts from Heaven on my own dudes, but, I mean, can you blame them? Gifts from Heaven is such a cool spell. I mean, really. So yeah, we pretty much just chewed through him here. And yeah, we got one last good volley of Gifts from Heaven right on our own guys. In any case, we lost 14 of our horsemen, 6 footmen, wiped out the enemy, and claimed, or not claimed, but took over, the Golden Throne, which is very, very good and gives you a lot of income, so I do want to claim that. Unfortunately, my Holy 3 is busy. Senku the Immortal, I could actually, like, I could free her up if I had enough commanders for these troops, because she's not technically necessary in this fight. But, well, I've got Stegobar and Banner. I may be able to free her up, actually. Let's give these troops to Banner down there. That's 40. Stegobar, you can have the glaives. And then more of these guys, like that. They're just guarding the back anyway, so they're not terribly, terribly important. And then these 5 we can just give to this random dude. These guys can be with him. They can all be on hold and attack closest. That guy can join them. And then these longbows we can give to Lan Kai-He. Oh, Lan is actually just researching. That's fine. I'm not bringing him. Give them to him. And they will fire at large enemy monsters. Like that. Great. So now, Senku is going to fly like a butterfly over here to claim the Golden Throne. Then she's going to zip over here to claim the Throne of the Moon, which is less important to me. And that'll be good. So, that is basically the turn. I don't have anything else really going on. These guys are still patrolling, which they don't need to do, so we're going to set them back on research. You can patrol, though. You can patrol if you want. And like I said, this little army is going to come up here, take the Range of Light. This army is going to march south and then move over here to take Star Peaks. I don't have the money to start fortifying Zenthra right away, but I am leaving Mu Gong to patrol. And he will bump up the province defense steadily. He's got 40 archers. So that will be a decent little defensive allotment. And that will be the plan. So I hit that button one too many times. So thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next turn, where we will see how the invasion of Ashdod has gone. Hopefully well, but we'll see. And hopefully Burden of Time also goes down. I really, really want Is to finish off Ermor quick as they can. So in any case, I'll see you all in turn 40.